What's up guys, and welcome back to another awesome tutorial. This is what we're going to be making in this video. It's a double placket. You can see I have a black underneath and I have a red on top of it. It's a double placket. So I'll be taking you guys through the process of doing this step by step. So all you have to do is just to give this video a thumb up and make sure you subscribe if you're yet to subscribe. I'm going to fix this right now and show you what the final result is going to look like. This is what we're going to be having on our final result. You can see you're just going to stitch it to your bodice. You can see I have two. This is the black part and this is the red part. You can see it's going to be on top of one another all the way to my neck area. You can see what I'm having here. So this is what the placket is going to look like. This is actually a dashiki outfit. You can put it on a dashiki or you can simply put it on a senator. Regardless of any outfit you want, you can simply use this placket in order to just differentiate between your outfits. I'm using this mainly because the cloth is of many patterns. If it's a plain, I would definitely go for a plain placket. So without further ado, let's get straight into the tutorial. The very first thing you're going to need is your interfacing. As you can see right here, here is a collar stay and I'm going to cut it at my exact length measurement, which is 16 inches. You can see that's my exact placket length measurement, and the wideness I'm using here is one quarter of an inch. You can see that's what I'll be using. And also I'll be cutting a smaller one, which will be the one at the top, and this one I'm going to cut the wideness at a total of half of an inch. You can see that half inch. You can see that I'm trying to show you clearly. So I'm cutting this at half of an inch and I'm going to cut exact same length, which is going to be 16 inches length. I'm still going to trim it out also because the smaller one is going to be smaller than the longer one. Also, I'm going to cut the length of the fabric I'll be using. Make sure you're working with the wrong and the right side of the fabric. To mark the wrong, so you work with the right side of the fabric. So on my main placket interfacing, this one right here, I'm going to simply iron it to the fabric. I'm going to gum it to the fabric. But before I gum it to the fabric, I cut the fabric at 4 inches wideness. I'm still going to trim it out, but I cut it at 4 inches wideness. And for the red placket, I cut it at the same length with the black fabric. You can see that. So I'm still going to simply gum this one also to the fabric. But first, we are going to cut the edge of the fabric depending on what you need. At this edge right here, depending on what you need, if you want to leave it like flat like that, you can simply go for that. But I want it to have this kind of a shape, so I'm just going to like trim that edge. You can see that shape is not that straight as I want, so I'm going to retrim it. You can see that. So this is what we're going to be having. You can see that shape. So I'm going to simply iron it to the fabric. And also this one, I'm going to cut it out just a little bit. I'm going to reduce the length. You can see that. And I'm going to simply do the edge also. So you can see what I have here also. You can see that. So the next thing is to simply iron it to the fabric, and I'm going to fold each of the plackets before doing the sewing. So let me iron it and show you guys what the result will look like. So after ironing it, this is what we're going to be having. You can see this. And I'm going to simply fold each of the side of the fabric. Take your time and make sure you iron it very well in order to have a very sharp edge. That is very important. You can see that. So you're going to fold both fabrics. So let me show you guys what the final result is going to look like after folding both fabrics. So after you are done folding both fabrics, you can see what I have. Make sure inside of the fabric, I'm going to simply put an hemming gum under both fabric so that I will not be having a moving part when I'm doing the sewing. So on my hemming gum, I'm going to cut the hemming gum into 2 places. You can see just like this. I'm going to cut the hemming gum into 2 places. I just need a very tiny hemming gum, just like this. You can see that. And I'm going to simply open this up and simply place it under. You can see that. And I'm going to simply gum it down so I can fold the edge of the fabric itself. You can see that. You can see what I have. I'm going to simply trim it out. And also at the edge here, I'm going to make sure I fold it inside and have a sharp edge. Then we can do the sewing. So here is what we're going to be having. You can see this. So all those excess thread that are showing up, or you can just use your lighter to just burn them out. Any excess thread, just burn them out. You can see what I'm having. After that is done, all you have to do now is to get the center point of your placket. But before you sew it, make sure you open the one side, the side that's going to be inside of your design. Open it up, you can see that, and I'm going to run a stitch all the way down to the last edge. Then I'm going to cuff it and simply continue the second stitch. You can see that all the way to the top. Make sure your stitch is very straight, because that is very important. Make sure your stitch is straight, and you can simply fold it and do the closing. So this is what we're going to be having. You can see the stitch under here. This is what we're going to be having. You can see that. You can see that. You can see how smooth that is. It's a very simple and beautiful design. So the next thing you have to do now is to simply apply it to your fabric. Apply it to your fabric itself. So this is my fabric, and I already joined the smaller parts, the smaller plackets. You can see all I have to do now is to simply join the bigger placket. So I'm just going to have to like do the stitching, do the turn up. So first, at this edge of the placket itself, you're going to simply fold it backward. You can see that you're going to fold that side backward so that you can have a smooth edge. You fold it backward and you can have a lock stitch. So this is what you're going to be having. You can see that. And you're going to simply just place it here and do the placket itself on the outfit. So that's how easy to do this senator placket. If you like the video, make sure you give it a thumb up, and make sure you subscribe if you're yet to subscribe to the channel. So this is the final result. I believe you already seen this in the introduction. This is what our final result is going to look like. It looks amazing and very sleek and simple. I did this placket because of the pattern of the fabric itself, so that I can have some texture and I can cause some little bit of attention on the outfit itself. That's why I use a black in order to give the shadow. So if you like the video, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up, and make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're yet to subscribe. I make a dashiki with this. You can make a senator, you can make whatever you want. So give the video a thumb up, and that's about it. I have a video on the screen right now that you can watch next. I definitely unpick that video for you. See you next time.